Welcome to the Windy City Rundown. Yeah. What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms, on the Facebook, on the YouTube, on the TikTok, on the Twitter, on the Instagram, and all the social media platforms. Make sure you like and subscribe to all our shows today, or all our shows, period. Make sure you guys follow us on all our platforms and always share and join us on our show. The link is actually provided here on the comments section. If you guys want to join our show today, you guys are more than welcome, either on the comment section or via your, if you guys want to log in. Hey, show us your face. Give us what you guys want to talk about. There's a lot to talk about. Even though the Bears were on a bye, that doesn't mean anything. We can still talk about sports because there's other sports around to talk about. Obviously, our beloved Chicago Cubs are in 0-2 hole against the Milwaukee Brewers. Not good, not looking great as they come back home tomorrow for Game 3, a pivotal game, a winner-go-home game pretty much at this point for our beloved Chicago Cubs. Like I said, the Bears are on a bye in a 2-2 in a place where last year our season just went pretty much to shit. Let's be quite frank, quite honest with the Fail Mary. But even though the Bears didn't play this week, we still have a lot to talk about, catch up preview on that game too as well. And also I have multiple questions for this week, for this week's episode. What do you guys prefer? Would you guys prefer the win-loss column, or would you guys prefer the performance for your quarterback? That's the question for the Chicago Bears for this week. And also for the baseball fans out there, for the non-Cubs fans out there, what would you prefer? Are you rooting for the Cubs? Are you not rooting for the Cubs? Do you care if they're winning? Do you care if they're losing? Will you support a Chicago team even if it's their playoffs or if it's not the team that you follow? All of that and much more here on the Windy City Rundown. Like I said, guys, the link is in our comment section if you guys want to join our show today and every show too as well. Like I said, follow, like, subscribe, share all our episodes with your friends and family. So let's get it started. Let's talk about what's more recent right now. And that is, unfortunately, the Chicago Cubs, who are down 0-2 in the series. Can they mount a comeback? It's tough, man. It's tough. I mean, in last week's episode, we were on a high, Jose and I, who's unfortunately not here with me today, but it's okay. I still got the show going. It's tough. This time it's tough. This time around, I don't feel as confident. I mean, I never felt confident in the Cubs the whole entire season, but I got excited for the playoffs because, hell, I haven't seen my Cubs in the playoffs since 2020. The real one since 2017, but that's neither here nor there. And to be quite completely honest with everybody, it just felt, or it feels like this is a hill or a mountain that the Cubs can't climb out of. They're overwhelmed with pitching. They're overwhelmed with, a lot of inconsistent bats, or not even overwhelmed. They have a lot of inconsistent bats. The hitting for the Milwaukee Brewers is just timely. The Cubs defense looking like they're getting overwhelmed with the offense of the Milwaukee Brewers. And it just feels like this series is just, if the Cubs take one, if they win tomorrow, great. If they reach to game 4, the Brewers win in Chicago, I mean, I could see that happening. I'll be more surprised if the Cubs take it back to Milwaukee, tied 2-2 for the winner take all in Milwaukee in a 5-game series. I would be definitely surprised at that. But it'll also prove that the one thing about the Chicago Cubs team is, like, even throughout the years, they have a fight in them. They will always continue on fighting. They will always continue on playing, grinding out results. But also at the same time, it's like, how much can their pitching staff, a very small pitching staff, a very short pitching staff, a very not so talented pitching staff, can take you so far away, or can take you far for this team? I don't see it. I want the Cubs just to win one, at least at home. At least tomorrow. I mean, they have to win tomorrow, right? Obviously, duh. But neither here nor there. The Chicago Cubs, to me, they just, I just don't see it. I don't see them coming back into the series. I don't see them coming back and forcing the game 7 back to Milwaukee. With the best I can see is just them winning tomorrow, and then Thursday just up for grabs for damn sure. And it sucks, because throughout the whole entire season, I was saying the Cubs were short arms, the Cubs were short, pitching staff, the Cubs were short a starter. And I hate to be right, but they were short 2 starters. And the moment that Steele went down, they were short 3 starters. They were still short bullpen arms. I've always thought that the Cubs were short arms. They were short in everything in that department, and really didn't do anything to solidify that bullpen one way or another. I mean, we got Soroka and Savali, but 2 pitchers that, I mean, last year they were both with the White Sox, and this year too as well, and they didn't really show any fourth effort into it. Not that I always like to bag on the Chicago White Sox. You know me. That's not me. That's not my cup of tea. But still, also at the same time, it's one of those. It's one of those situations like what did you do to make yourself better? And offensively, I mean, there was no starting pitcher that was going out, so that's one. Cool, okay, I'll take that. But 2, and most importantly, like they didn't do anything to bolster up the offense. They didn't do anything to make some noise on the offensive side of the ball. Like, I remember they kept saying, like, in 2017 or 2016 when the Cubs won the World Series, like, the one they got Aroldis Chapman, like, okay, that shit is crazy. Or, that we got Aroldis Chapman. I see it. They were definitely serious about winning. And in a year this year in 2025, where even though on paper you see a team like the Dodgers that they can win it on, they're not that dominant bullpen wise. They're not that dominant starting pitching. They still have whatever they have to take. Obviously, offensively on paper, but that lineup order, it can turn around at any given game. But at the same time, it's just it wasn't a inferior team to think that this team this goes through the Dodgers, even though they're defending champions. I don't see it. I didn't see it. This season, it was up for the taking for anybody. There was no true dog. There was no team to go for it, and especially in the National League. And like the Cubs just didn't do anything to improve their team. Otherwise, I didn't see no improvement. And here we are, 0-2 to Milwaukee, the team that literally came back on a behind 5, 6, 7, 8 games, however far back they were behind, went on this crazy ass stretch, and they beat you by 9 games, 5 games, in the division. They took that division away from you. And it shows. I mean, the last 2 games, look, the Cubs went on the board first, and they responded right back. And the unfortunate part is the Cubs never responded back to that situation. The Cubs never responded back to their punch, to their counter punch. And here we are, brink of elimination tomorrow here at home. With a whole full healthy staff. Jameson Taillon on the bump, and if maybe just maybe for somehow some way they ended up getting the win, Boyd, who's been pitching well at home, gets the call up for game 4. So I find it hard. If the Cubs do win tomorrow, great. I expected it. I don't expect it on Thursday. Jose, with the eyes. Where you at, Jose? You have me here all by myself, my guy. But it's cool. You could join Jose on the comment section, or like I said, the link is also in the comment section too as well. Hit me up. Join me. I am solo today running the show, but it's all right. Like I said, you could join me via the stream. You can join me via the comment section. We will have a conversation about everything about the Cubs right now being down 0-2. Do you guys see them coming back? Hey, there's the guy that I was looking for. I mean, do you guys, can they mount a comeback? That it's serious. It's that simple. Tony, he says baseball's over. Baseball's over for him. I mean, I want to say I'm right with you, Tony. I really do. I think they can get one tomorrow. I don't know if that's the fandom in me that they could get, that they can get one tomorrow, but also at the same time, like, they can't go out like this. Let me rephrase it. It doesn't surprise me that they're going out the way that they're going out, because of the lack of urgency, the lack of commitment, the lack of, how should I say this? Just the lack of competitiveness from the higher ups, that they're going to get swept tomorrow. I can see it. I hate to say it, but I can definitely see it. Definitely see the fact that the Chicago Cubs will get swept mañana. He said, let's be real. I agree. I mean, the baseball season's over, so I'm right with you. Give us one win. That's all I care about. Oh, hey, look who decided to join the show after all. Hey, what's up, Jose? How are you, dude?
What up?
Not much,
I
man.
came. I came in. I came in the guest way though. I'm not. I'm not in. I can't. I can't do anything. So
It's
I'm.
all
I'm a
good.
guest here.
Tony says that the Horton injury put our rotation in a bad shape. Tony, 100% honest with you, even before the Horton injury, the pitching rotation just wasn't that good enough, anyways, to get there in the first place. Marcos, what's up, my guy? Hope you're doing well. You and your family doing great, man. Good to see you. Hey, go Cubs, go! I'm as a fan, I'm right with you. Go Cubs, go! As a realist, I don't know, man. It's tough. It's tough. It's tough. Jose, what do you think? Can they mount a comeback, or is it over mañana?
Oh man, I think it's over. They just. They just need Kate Horton to come back somehow, some way, man. If they could pull off a miracle and win tomorrow, I think I heard when he first got injured at Game 5 is where he may be able to come back. So we just. I mean, man, dude, I don't know. I don't know, Eric. It's gonna be tough, man, for sure.
Nah,
And
it is, dude. And you could go many different ways. I mean, you could see the second half of the season. We weren't that consistently good. We weren't that great. Bats went silent. Tucker went silent. Sale went silent. PCA went silent. The majority of the second half of the season after an amazing first half. I mean, they let the Brewers come back after being up 7, 8 games in the division and ended up losing it by 5. Tony right there says we were only 5 games over 500 the second half of the season. That says a lot. Pitching staff. I mean, they were saying that the bullpen was great. Bullpen was in the top 10 in all of baseball. Great. That's cool. The pitching was top 10 in baseball. That's cool. That's great. But in the regular season and 162 game season, those are anomalies, man. Like those aren't numbers that you can say that strike fear, because in reality, when the pressure is on, when the good teams are in the playoffs and you face a good team consistently, they'll see the flawness in the team. And right now, the Chicago Cubs, their fatal flaw is they can't pitch well, and unfortunately, they can't hit. Other than Seiya Suzuki, who just found his bat within the last couple weeks of the season.
yeah, yeah. Say's been good. Say's been good so far. He's been a spark for sure that they need. It's the pitching, man. It's like, yeah, last night in the
Mhm.
first inning, the Cubs, them doing what they did in the first inning, scoring 3 runs was great. I'm like, okay, cool. This is exactly what they need. Get them early. Let's go. But Among, Shota he didn't do his thing. Like it was just, I don't know, bro. It was very deflating. Because you got your ass kicked in the first game.
100%.
Your ass kicked in the
100%.
first game. And you come out firing in the second, which is
100%.
great, but then pitching just screws you. And from there, you're deflated again. You saw Craig Counsell's face; he was
100%.
so frustrated, so frustrated. But that's just where they're at right now, and that's look. If we're gonna play the blame game, I'll start it off. I blame Jed Hoyer. I blame the
I've been
president
doing
of
that all
operations.
year.
I blame the front office, man.
100%.
You guys knew this was an issue or this was going to be. I get it. You're out. Justin Steele is out. You
Yeah.
had Cade Horton who's having a great year. Boyd was having a good year. Um, but it's not enough. It was never going to
It's
be
not.
enough. Your bullpen was never going to be enough.
Nope.
And now you're feeling it now. Now you're
Offensively,
realizing
they're
like,
not,
damn,
though.
like we have offense. It's just no pitching, and that's what's screwing
100%.
the Cubs right now. So that's why I blame, man. It sucks.
No, 100%, dude. I mean, I've said it all year long. I mean, I was a big critic of the Chicago Cubs in the beginning of the year. You know it. I thought they were going to have a lesser winning record. At this point, they might as well have had that low winning record because they really didn't do nothing at the trade deadline. Like I was pissed. I was pissed that they didn't do anything. There's nothing really there to say that the Chicago Cubs were moving on or trying to make the team a little better, because the moves were very subtle, and the moves that the other teams made are already eliminated from the playoffs, right?
Is that John?
But even yeah, that's John. John's in the comment section. I was going to read right now the comment section after my statement. But I mean, Jose, like at the same time, it's just like you weren't serious from the get go. Like you're not serious. Like you could have put everything to bed of paying Kyle Tucker. You could have put everything to bed by making these moves, whether bringing a Hanging Suarez or somebody like that to help you bolster, the offense some way somehow if the pitching wasn't there. I told you in the beginning of the season, Jose, the Cubs are short 2 arms in the starting staff. When Steele went down, they were down 3.
See, hold on.
Thank God thank God for Kate Horton having the season that he did, dude. But other than that, man, I mean, it's just deflating because we were so excited last week, literally 7 days ago. We were super excited about the Chicago Cubs and the way that they're performing. We were just happy, excited. And now it's just, 7 days later, it's just a whole different concept, a whole different story.
Read the comments because I want to get to John's last one, but
For sure.
I don't want to ignore everybody else's.
I got you. John said Brewers are bringing the brooms tomorrow. I could kind of see it. Unfortunately, I can't see it.
Me too.
But I can see the Cubs taking one. The Cubs are at least taking one. Are they?
I don't know, man. They haven't shown me shit.
100%. Milwaukee versus Detroit in the World Series. You heard it here first. All right, Tony. We'll see how much that money is. We'll put $10 on it. He says Dodgers and Blue Jays in the World Series. My beautiful fiance says, Nanny says, hi, puppy. Hi, baby. Hi, mama. Tony says it's not the manager's fault that he's trying so many things to get them going and it's hurting. No, 100%. And it's true what he's saying.
I'm not blaming Craig Counsell.
No, there's literally no fault to Counsell whatsoever. Like
I mean, a lot of people are criticizing him for starting Boyd in game 1 and
which
then
is
Shota in game 2. But what other options do you have? You know what I mean? It's like what other options do you have? Like you couldn't throw in Andrew. Was I saying Andrew Kirchhoff? What's his name?
Yeah, you're right.
You couldn't throw him. This guy he literally pitched almost every game in the last series.
Right.
He needs his rest. You can't just throw him back in there.
100%.
Boyd was the guy. It was, as much as, we all knew it was going to be, hard. He was kind of the obvious choice. And then Shota's there for a reason. You're paying him all that money for a reason. Like, it had to be him. It sucks that it had to be him, but that's why I blame the front office. You guys put us in this situation. No, I get it. You didn't predict injuries. I understand that. Right. But that happens. But it happens. Right. And,
you at least have to have that in mind that just in case if an injury does happen, we at least have some type of support to back them up, depending how long their injury status is.
Right. Then go on to John's next one.
John says, sorry. If you're the Cubs front office, making this far was a win. Injuries hit them. They didn't do anything. Like Eric said, that's why being in the playoffs is a win this season.
See, that I want to debate that because that's the mentality that all these Chicago front offices have because all they care about is the money and the revenue that playoffs brings.
I agree.
It's not a winning mentality. Yes, it's better than the last few years of not making the playoffs. I 100% right. You stepping stones, but at the same time, what pisses me off is the Cubs had an opportunity. These playoffs are wide open. These 100%. Teams aren't. There's no really dominant. Like the Brewers look dominant, right? But I feel like it has more to do with the Cubs than it does the Brewers. Like it has more to do with the Cubs not having the pitching than it does the Brewers just that good on offense. I 100% honestly think that the Cubs had a chance here. They have the offense to go against anybody. The team just didn't do right by them. They didn't do right by them. And so yes, I guess you could say it's a win, but at the same time, like it's not because you literally did the bare minimum to get here. and then what happens next year? Half of your guys aren't going to be on the roster. You haven't signed Tucker. You don't know what's going to go on there.
I don't think he's going to resign, to be honest with you.
I don't think so either. And it's like, yes, you still have PCA. They say as they're 100%, right? I get that. You have stars. Let's not discredit that. But at the same time, it's like it really isn't a win. I don't see it as a win. I don't see it as a win. I see it like it's a fun season.
Yeah,
but it's not as stable as the 2015 Cubs were, where you're like, hey, this is fun. We made the playoffs. Next 100%. Year is our year.
That year was fun.
I'm not sitting here saying next year's our year. I don't even know what the fuck's going to happen next year. I don't know who's going to be on our team next year.
100%. I completely agree with you. and that's right to me. It's like, okay, it's great. We haven't seen real playoff baseball since 2017, right? Obviously, 2020 was the COVID year, but they made the playoffs that year, but they didn't really have that much noise. They didn't create enough energy, enough buzz to even care about it, right? And we haven't seen playoff baseball in 5 years. So that's why it's a win. It's a win. But you're right, 100% what you said, Jose. Like it's the weak mentality that us Chicago fan base have because we're excited because we hardly even see playoff anything in any sport in a consistent basis, on a consistent basis, should I say, from any of these teams. The Chicago Fire is barely making the playoffs for the first time in about like 12 years in the MLS. That says a lot right there. Let go right there. We're saying that the Cubs haven't been in the playoffs in 5 years. The White Sox have, after having a great organization or they built a great team in 20 and 21, they're a shitty ass team losing 100 back-to-back 100 game season this year. Let's not talk about the Chicago Bulls. Let's not talk about the Chicago Blackhawks because they don't even care. They don't give a rat's ass about that. You know what I mean? And right now the Chicago Bears are probably the only thing that we're excited about. But mind you, we haven't been in the playoffs since 2018 on top of that. And it's been shit after shit after shit. And you're absolutely right. It's the weak mentality that we have. But again, like it is the bare minimum and it's the stepping stone. We just get really excited. It's just, again, ownership. We care. Ownership doesn't. And like you said, all they care about is the money in the back pocket. And that's the upsetting part right there, that we spend all our hard-earned money to watch these guys and for the owners not really to give us a great product or a product to us to be excited about, not only for 1 year, but for years to come right afterwards.
Read the comments. I think
I
they're
got you. Yeah, no, yeah, the comments are coming in. John says, thank God for Boy for having a season that he did. 100% Boy, Kate
100%.
Horton,
Yeah.
For sure. John also said that he feels like the Cubs had every opportunity to make noise at the trade deadline and didn't. Every other team in the postseason did it, and it's paying off for those teams. I mean, yeah, 100%. John Duran obviously going to the Phillies. You see where the Phillies are at right now. I mean, they're also down 0-2. Given however you want to take that too as well. The Padres made noise. The Cubs eliminated them. The Tigers made noise, bolstering up the bullpen. They're tied 1-1 in that series. Like, you're absolutely right, John. That is a great point right there. But it's like, again, every opportunity. We love to say here, and not just us in our little small podcast, Jose, but even all the major radio stations too, as well as sports stations here in Chicago and whatever music station. We love to say that we're the third biggest market in the United States, but we move like we're the 20th biggest market in the United States compared to the sports wise or the sports teams that we have, because we have owners that really just don't give a flying flip about us and what we care about and how much that we love these teams. And that's the damning part of it all. Like, that's the mentality and that's the mindset that we have. I forgot what he said. He said had. Here we go. Tony says trade Hap. He needs to rejuvenate somewhere else. Unfortunately, Tony, that can't happen because he has a no trade clause in his contract. He has 1 year left in it, unless if he decides to get rid of that no trade clause. Unfortunately, Ian Happ is here to.
I do agree with that, though. I do agree that he needs to change the scenery, and I feel like we also need to part ways with him. Look, I like Ian Happ. I appreciate everything Ian Happ's done, but when it matters most, he's nowhere to be found.
100%. John says he agrees with you, Jose, but when you sell out, regardless of what product you put on the field, why do you even go in all in? They could have gone and got Crochet at the beginning of the year, or Bieber, or every or every the Diamondbacks gave up, etc. No, 100%. And you know what? Like, I think that's the how I feel, Jose. It's the damn being a Cubs fan, because no matter what, it's a lose-lose situation, because Wrigley's a fun ass time. Jose, you and I have been to Wrigley Field when the Cubs were losing 100 games and we're still having a grand old time. Yeah. Whether if it's inside the ballpark or outside the ballpark, with the hundreds of bars that they have. I mean, it's not hundreds, but plenty of bars that they have from Sheffield all the way down, dude. It's always a grand old time at Wrigley, and that's the beauty of it. And now I don't call it Wrigley Field. I call it Wrigley Corp, with everything that's around around Wrigley Field. And even still to this day, dude, like we know that the Cubs are having, but we still go because we know we're gonna have a great old time at Wrigley, and that's the beauty of being a Cubs fan. But to John's point, it's like we sell out. Like, why should they even care? Like, fucking Ricketts is just getting cash in and it's not really putting a product out there.
No, and he's not. But and that's what sucks. But I mean, I get where John's coming from. You know what I mean? Like, But that's the part I don't like. That's why I say it's weak minded. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
It's not something at least us fans should be happy about. You know what I mean?
yeah,
That's some Jerry Reinsdorf shit right there. Just put a
yeah.
product on the court. You know what I mean? They make the plans. We'll be first in attendance every year,
Oh, you
and
guys, not me.
you're right. Not me. I've been boycotting for years. I haven't been. I haven't watched. I'm
Same,
boycotting. Now I'm not gonna
100%.
lie. I'm not gonna lie. I would 100% be so happy to go to see Derrick Rose retirement, but that's more because of the memories I have. You know what I mean? All that he's done for
Uh-huh.
me. But like, as a fan, otherwise, fuck them, right? Fuck the team. But
Did you real quick? I know you were on the Derrick Rose real quick before we go back on the subject, but did you hear about the Rose bundle for the
dude,
Chicago Bulls are doing?
they are milking the fuck out of it. And it's disgusting.
This is why it pissed me off that they didn't do the retirement. Like they're smart for not doing the retirement jersey last year and putting it this year because they knew they were doing because they know that the Bulls are going to be shit this
But that
upcoming
further
season.
but that ties in with what we're talking about. It furthers the point
Yeah,
about these
exactly,
owners and why the fuck they like
100%.
don't be surprised if now that Anthony Rizzo is retired, they start doing the same thing with the 2016 World Series Cubs and they add him in it and once just wait for Brian to be available and fucking Javi Baez. Like,
I ain't
nah,
gonna lie,
bro.
I'll still be there, man. That's that. I'll
Schwarber.
still, I'll
No,
still
but
be
that's what
there.
I'm saying. Like, right,
That's different.
because of the memories, right? But
Yeah,
otherwise, no, like
100%.
fuck that. But yeah, but I hear what John's saying. It's just
I do
sucks.
too. It's literally the conversations that we probably even have outside of having our shows, but in like real talk, that's what we have.
Yeah.
Who's going to pay Tucker that kind of money that he's going to want? Honestly, I think Tucker probably paid himself or played himself into a contract where they'll probably have multiple opt-outs, like a 3-year contract, a 3-year deal of like 40, 30, 40, 50 million with every year that has an opt-out after year one, after year two, obviously, right? I think that's the kind of contract that he played himself in, especially in the back half of the end of the season with the injury that he's been having, the lack of offense production. I don't think there's going to be a team out there, including the Dodgers, that is going to give him a 7-year, $180 million deal
No.
or something like that.
But which favors the Cubs if it does end up the way you say, because maybe because he's been here, he's comfortable. Maybe that 1 to 3 year deal could be here in Chicago, and hope and in hopes, right, that he does again. Then again, from there on, plays for another
Yeah,
contract. You know what I mean, and plays his ass off and benefits us. But time will tell.
100%. Yeah, we're still going down the comments, guys. If you want to join us in the comment section, like Tony and John have been doing, or join us like Jose. Hit the link right here in the comment section. It's on the top of the page. I'll put the link back on again, so that way you guys can see it again. But yeah, join us here on Windy City Rundown. We're talking about the Chicago Cubs and the state of Chicago sports too as well. Join us, have us share our shows, like, subscribe, all that good stuff on all our social media platforms. The Blackhawks have made more moves than the Cubs this year, 100%, and it was very minimum too as well. I
Shout out to
mean,
the Blackhawks, 3-2 loss against the defending champs, but
great
not a bad showing today. Regular season started today. For those who didn't know,
hockey. It's very frustrating. But rewind a week ago, how excited you guys were, and every other Cubs
yeah,
fan, the W for the
yes,
organization being here in terms of their pockets. LOL.
yes,
No, 100%.
no, 100%. And but what frustrates us, John, is that excitement we had last week, right? Because we seen the potential. Look what they did to the Padres. When
Yeah,
healthy, when you have guys going, you could do a lot or anything. That's what I'm saying. This year
yeah,
was the year. If they would have made moves, we could have gone really, really far. We would have been more competitive in this series.
yeah.
Um, that's what I'm saying. Like, and then the reason why we lost is because we don't have the pitching or we do have the pitching. We just don't have the numbers.
We don't have the
Boyd was
hitting,
tired. Boyd was on 3 days rest.
or
He was
we
tired.
don't even have the offense too to coincide with the pitching. The pitching hasn't been the problem.
We have the offense. I just think everything goes hand in hand. When you're
Yeah,
deflated, when you're seeing the other team just score at will,
yeah,
you're like, how do you motivate yourselves? You know what I mean? And
100%.
you seen it in the dugout these last 2 games. They looked beat, bro. Like, and they weren't even on offense. They weren't even on the field, but they were getting like, or they were on the field. But you know what I'm saying? Like, they just looked like, what the fuck?
No,
Those
100%.
errors that
No,
were
I
being
definitely agree.
made, like not being able to catch the ball. It's like, bro, it's they were 100%. Um, deflated.
They're just out of it. I was out of
Yeah.
it. I watched probably up to the third. I watched up until the Cubs were down 4-3. Is where I turned off the TV because even that 3-run home run, bro, that even deflated me, to be 100%
I
honest.
fell
I was just
asleep
like,
after
I knew
that.
it was just over.
I was thinking to myself, okay, I'm gonna stay up and watch this game after the 3-run homer from Seiya. And then here comes Andrew Vaughn, and I'm like, "Yep, I'm going to bed." All right, guys.
Andrew
Because
Vaughn.
I already knew.
Who knew
It
a
was.
White
It was
Sox
it.
reject would make some would destroy
No,
the fucking
hey, look.
Cubs, man.
When I worked at 670 The Score, part of my job overnight was to cut the load sheet. So I ended up getting a lot of highlights from the White Sox broadcast on Chicago Sportsnet when it was Chicago Sportsnet. And I always liked Andrew Vaughn. I thought he played hard. I thought he was a spark when that team needed it. So for him for his journey has been crazy. For the Brewers to bring him up, for trading him and bring him up, like and like help develop him, like he's somebody I feel deserves that type of success.
That
So
Andrew.
I'll give him all the credit in the world.
Yeah, for sure. John, we didn't go to a game together this year. I personally didn't want to go to no Cubs game because they didn't really intrigue me to go to the Cubs game. Even though they were excited, they were actually pretty good. They were the second best national team, or the second best team in the National League. You know, top team in the whole entire baseball throughout the whole entire season. Like the trade deadline, I was eager to go. You know, that first half, I'm like, okay, see what they did, see what they will do in the trade deadline. They didn't do dilly squat. That took away all the motivation to go to a single game because they weren't going to get anything on my money. Like I still watch and hear and listen to the Cubs game on a day to day basis during the regular season, but it just never felt right. You know, I got excited for the playoffs because okay, I haven't seen my boys in the playoffs in so long. As a fan, I got truly excited, but you know, maybe next year, maybe next year. I'm not sure.
I mean, I've been to a game this year.
Yeah, you
I
did.
we didn't go together, but we should. But we should. But definitely next year, something we could definitely
It's nice,
strive
by
for.
the way, John. That DraftKings Sports Bar, it's nice. It's nice. You should go. John replied to Tony with what kind of team will give him the contract 3 year. I mean, I said the same thing too as well. So yeah,
Yankees,
here's the
man.
link if you guys want to join us. The link is in the comment section. Join us on the show like Jose is joining us, or in the comment section like John and like Tony. And John says as a baseball fan, he doesn't mind a Brewers Blue Jays World Series. I mean, hey, two small market teams getting the world. I mean, that's probably every baseball fan's like true like World Series after if they're getting tired of the big boys like the Los Angeles is or than like the New Yorks or something like that. Like that's like a true baseball World Series for true baseball fans that actually enjoy the game and watch the games from the couch. Excuse me. Tony says, "Come on, guys! I've seen one World Series for my Cubbies since 1979, so I'm used to it." I mean, shit, I've been a fan since I was little, and my true fandom didn't come to like '03. Had my first heartbreak then, but you're absolutely right. We seen something that generations of fans didn't get to see unless if they were in 1918 or 1908
I
in Cubs winning the Cubs World Series. So,
I've been a fan
but
since I
that's
was a kid. The very first Cubs games
same.
I have ever went to was a field trip for in my 5th grade. It was the Cubs versus Giants. Sammy Sosa versus Barry Bonds. Sammy Sosa hitting a home run. We ended up winning that game too. Both of them. Barry Bonds hit a home run that game too. We ended up winning 2-1. Um, I've been a fan ever since, but I thought that was pretty cool.
That is pretty cool.
Steroid
But
ever was different, boy.
no, but in all reality, Jose, like, but what Tony says here, it gets me. But it gets me because, like, yes, we said we haven't seen the Cubs, like generations of families that have never seen, or generations, or just fans haven't seen the Cubs win since. If you weren't alive in 1908, then you didn't see another World Series ever since. But the unfortunate part about that, Jose, is like that shouldn't be just it. Like, just be satisfied with just one World Series. Like to be satisfied with that breaking the curse of 100 and some odd years of breaking that World Series curse, bro. Like we should be, as the city of Chicago, like we should be thriving for more.
Yeah, we should. We should be thriving for more, but we don't. Um, I don't know,
Owner
man.
fault.
I don't know what it is about the city of Chicago and the greed. But yeah, these owners are just comfortable. You know,
Yeah.
I don't know. You look at the owners from the New York teams and the Los Angeles teams, and they always seem like, hey, like they know, like we want all the glory, all the success. But here in Chicago, it's like, no, we just like money.
We just love money because
But
they
they
know
also,
that we
but they also know, like, but we kind of do it to ourselves, Eric. They know they can
we do
get
do
us.
it to ourselves.
You
I
know
mean,
what I
the
mean?
perfect example is the Chicago Bulls. I think
hundred
that's a
percent.
perfect example of a team.
Yep.
You know, like
Like
we're just
I'm boycotting, but I know I'm not making a difference. You know what I mean? I'm just doing
right.
it for my own sanity.
Nah, same here.
It's just
Jose, literally last year we literally had a segment of me trying to pick a new team. You
right.
know, on a week to week basis.
We
Like
might
that's how
have
bad
one.
it is
Hey,
for Chicago
we
Bulls
might
basketball.
we might have one this year for
You
me.
might-
I mean,
this time it just won't be me; it'll be you too. So that's the crazy part, bro.
we might have it for me
And
this
it's
year.
sad
You
to
know?
say that, but it's true. Like it's true. Tony says that Bill Buckner and Dave Kingman made him love the Chicago
There
Cubs.
you go,
Yeah, we all have one. Mine was Kerry Wood and Sammy. You know,
Sammy. Yep,
yeah,
Sammy
so
Sosa.
yeah, Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube, guys. Make sure you follow us on all our social media platforms outside of that on Facebook, YouTube, Twitter, Instagram, all that. Follow us, subscribe, share all our episodes to all your friends and family. Just make sure you guys give us that like and hit the little bell on both the YouTube and the Facebook page to get notified when our shows are live. And as you can see right there, Windy City Rundown live every Tuesday at 7:30. So make sure you guys be prepared. Put that on your alarm. 7:30. We are on Jose and Eric Windy City Rundown here on Facebook and on YouTube. All right, Jose, moving on to the next segment of our show. Before I forget, last question I want to say for John. I think this is I saw this the other day or yesterday. I heard this yesterday. It was kind of interesting for non-Cubs fans. Like, are you cheering for the Cubs or no? Okay, just for like a Chicago team, right? And Jose, let's put ourselves in that situation before we move on.
Well, we were when the White
We
Sox
were
were
a
in the
couple years
playoffs.
ago. Yeah.
Well,
Would
I don't
you?
know. I'm a flip flopper, so I mean, I'll admit it because I remember one year the Sox were in it, and I was rooting against them, and I was happy they got eliminated. But then there was another year where I was like, I think it's because we sucked all around as a Chicago sports fan,
Yeah.
and it was you kind of appreciate it a little bit, like you know what, man, like kudos to them, like good luck, you know what I mean? But
Yeah.
yeah,
I hear you. Fuck them. Anyways, so Jose, there was no Bears game on Sunday, right?
nope.
No Bears game this past week. They play on Monday night, so we have to wait another day instead of Sunday. We have to wait another day for the Bears. They play Monday Night Football. They go back to Washington where we had the Fail Mary last year. And it honestly a game that really just changed the complexity of our season last year, bro. It changed the whole dynamic of that team. It literally changed everything of the Chicago Bears organization. They went on a free fall, losing 10 straight games after that.
Yep.
Firing Matt Eberflus right after Thanksgiving, something that the Bears have never done as an organization ever, in firing a head coach middle of the season. So much turmoil, so much change for a rookie quarterback, Caleb Williams, so much everything. And it's on a Monday night on a national broadcast once again, even though last year was at 325, less eyes, I mean, a little bit more eyes, but now it's a national game, Jose. Yeah. Are the Bears coming back with a W momentum with the Bears side this upcoming game on Monday or no?
I don't see momentum. I think if anything, Washington has momentum with Jalen Daniels coming back this past week and them playing the way they've played. I think Washington has the momentum right now.
Yeah.
You know, they got healthy. They looked really good against the Chargers. I mean, the
Yeah.
Chargers are no scrub of a team. Um, so yeah, I think momentum's on Washington side,
Yeah.
but I do feel like this year is different in a way where we're kind of being cleansed of our sins here. The Bears are being cleansed of their sins, right? That win against Las Vegas typically always happens the other. It's always opposite. It's always the other way around with the Bears losing that way. You know what I mean? So what better cleansing can it be with cleansing that fail Mary, the Hail Mary, whatever you want to call it, for the
Yeah.
Bears last year? Like how good could it be, Eric, if we come back and we win and we defeat the Washington Commanders, which is very possible. Look, they were struggling up until this
Yeah.
last game. They didn't look as hot.
They didn't look
right? Jaden
great.
Daniels was hurt, but even the games he played, they weren't the world beaters they were last year.
100%.
They very much came down to earth this year. So it is very possible that the Bears win. My concern is what I mentioned already is that the Washington Commanders are coming off a really good game against the Chargers. So right now for me, the momentum's on that side.
Yeah, I think I saw a betting line that the Bears are 5.5 underdogs, 6.5 underdogs, 6.5 point
Yeah.
underdog against the Commanders this upcoming Monday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple days. Tony different hits around on the head right here. Different coach, different season. Look at all the upsets this weekend. No, 100%. I think that's the momentum that we should go. Obviously, they should play the Fail Mary just to be like, hey, don't do this shit. I mean, Tyreek Stevenson already talked about it, and I think in our podcast of one of the Bears who has a podcast show out there, talked about how that changed them, humbled him, made him be who he is. And then after he got torched by the Detroit Lions a couple weeks ago, like he's been a whole completely different player the last two games. So hopefully that keeps that momentum right there with him. The Bears are making moves. Ben Johnson said he was in a access everybody during the bye week. Obviously, Trapillo is going to not Trapillo. Benedict is going to be on the left tackle now this upcoming game. The Chicago Bears are going to have a handful with that defensive line. Jose, I don't know how to feel about this game coming up with the Chicago Bears, man, because I honestly do feel like it as excited that we are, as excited as we can be about the Chicago Bears, and literally it being a whole different atmosphere in that team. I just don't see where and how with that defensive line how the Bears can one contain Jaden Daniels, but B contain the running game or stop the running game that the Washington Commanders has outside of the quarterback.
I'm 100% starting Bill Krosky Merritt and all
I
my family and
oh
all my
I
fantasy
thought you
leagues
froze.
this year. You hear me?
I hear you. You're good. You're good.
Yeah, no, yeah, I'm 100% starting him. But dude, you're right. That's the one thing I wasn't thinking about is that defense, our defense. Look, they've been playing well, right? They've been creating turnovers, but it's also that's also been against the Cowboys and the Raiders. So, as good as the Cowboys
Right.
have and are on offense, the Raiders aren't. So
Yeah.
it'll definitely be a test for that defense this week. Um,
Hmm.
so it can really be a toss up, man. We can continue that hot streak against Washington, or we can get our asses killed against that offense. Jaden Daniels, that running game. I mean, him alone, him and freaking and Krosky Mary could just run all over us. So
100%.
it's interesting. It's very interesting. I think
Yeah.
this is almost became a rivalry last year after that game because of the number one, number two pick, right?
Right.
We want our guy to be the guy. But so far, it looks like their guy is the guy, right? Their
Right.
guy was the one who came and started, having this amazing season, rookie of the year, and then goes to the
Yeah.
NFC Championship. That should have been us. That should have been our guy. That should have been Caleb Williams, but it wasn't. So it's for me. For me, it's like a rivalry game. We need to win this game. We need to make a statement, at least
Yeah.
for that sake. You know what I mean?
No, I hear you, Jose, and it's funny. It's funny that you mentioned that because right before I go to the next segment that you brought up, great segue. Tony says, "Come on, any given Sunday, or in our case on Monday." He says, "I'm more worried about the Browns game than this one on Monday. Obviously, defensively, you can see why. But even then, so is just it's a statement game from because of what we witnessed last year. Last year
Right.
was the downfall. We're going back into what Jose said. Hopefully trying to wash off all our sins from the game last year for the Chicago Bears. But you're right. It is a storyline that the media like to kind of burn up as a new rivalry, like you said, number one versus number two, Jose. Um, which brings me to my next segment, Jose, and this one's very up there. Like, what do you prefer? What's more important to you in a quarterback's development? Is it the win loss or is it the performance?
It's always the performance, right? As far as development aspect, it's always the performance because I think you and I both said we would rather have Caleb be outstanding in losses than
Hmm.
be, you know, than to suck in wins. You know what I mean? Because then it's
Yeah,
like obviously if you win, it's an overall team game. It's not like the quarterback is the end all be all, right? He is the most important player on the field, right? He's definitely a huge reason as to wins or losses, but he's not the reason.
Right.
at least not always, right? We've seen last year how well he played, and coaching is what fucked us. So
100%.
with that being said, I would rather um with that being said, the question to answer the question, I feel like the performance is more important. At the same time, though, Eric, it should also go hand in hand, where the performance should, you know, it should equate to wins.
Should
You know
equate
what I
to
mean?
wins.
It should equate
Hmm.
to wins. It does. Like if like look at like Jaden Daniels last year was literally the example. His performance, game in and game out on the offense, equal to wins. And that's what Caleb we need that's what we need to start seeing from Caleb Williams, As long as the coaching staff doesn't shoot us in the foot, as long as the defense doesn't shoot us in the foot, what he does in the offense, what we saw in that Raiders game, he put us in the opportunity to win the game. That's what you want to see.
No, 100%. I am right with you. I think you and I are locked up with this one about the performance. I mean, yeah, it's great with the win loss, but if I get the performance and him growing every single game, every single season, I rather have that. The wins will come, and the losses will go away. But at the moment right now, it is definitely the performance and the development of a quarterback more than wins and losses. We would love the wins to go along with the development in a perfect world, like the Commanders last year. But at the same time, if I were to have one or the other, I'd rather have the development than the wins and losses.
I'll say
Uh,
less. John said slide for the game. She,
all right,
I'll
let's
make the
do it.
pizza, boy.
Tony says, the
What's the
Commanders. Tony,
recipe?
it's the Commanders. We can't say it. We don't want to get canceled. It's the Commanders, my guy. But John says Commanders -3, so that's the line 3.5 in most places. I saw him at 5 earlier, so I guess a little bit of money is going on the Bears side. And yeah, slight Monday for the game and John homecoming housewarming party, right? Yeah, we'll do
Hey
that.
man.
For
Hey, if you
sure, for sure.
serious, I'm serious.
And if you're serious, I'm serious.
Shoot.
But we go from there. Jose, so it brings me to this question: is we alluded to it? It's Caleb Williams versus the rest of his class, and obviously it is Drake Maye, it is Jaden Daniels,
Bo
Michael Penix,
Nix.
Bo Nix, and Caleb Williams, probably the top 5 quarterbacks right there, right?
How
And
do you rank
again,
them?
I literally broke this down to just I didn't put Michael Penix because there's not enough of him out there, especially last year how he started. He wasn't really starting
Yeah,
last
you
year.
could put it, man. You've seen something,
You've seen
but
just enough. I'll look. I didn't put down his stats, but I didn't put down his stats. But Caleb Williams has 21 starts so far in his young NFL career. 21 starts. That's not a lot, obviously, but that means it's not a lot, but it's a lot because he played all 17 games last year, and so far he's played all 4 games this year in 21 starts. So I'm gonna put the tick for Caleb. I'm gonna put the ticker right on there. So this is Caleb Williams' numbers so far in his 21 games. He has 4,468 passing yards with damn near 600 rushing yards, 28 touchdowns, 8 interception, but a 7-12 record, right? And if you look at it in a grand scheme of things, like the
hold
numbers,
on. You said Caleb has how much?
it's right there on the ticker. I don't know if you can see it, but it's
Oh, I see it.
4,468
44-68.
yards, 600 rushing yards, 28 touchdowns, 8 interceptions, and a 7-12 record. All right, I'm gonna keep Caleb's numbers on the ticker right here on the bottom, and where the Caleb in 21 starts is gonna be everybody else's numbers: Jaden's, Bo's, Maine, all those guys, and I'll give you guys Michael Penix's numbers in a bit. But before I do so,
No,
let
you're right. We don't have to because this is his first year. Let's just we're talking. You know, guys that
100%.
played both years. We can just keep it there. Jaden, Bo, Drake, Caleb.
Yeah. Let's go into the comments real quick. John said he fucking sucked in the Raiders game, and I saw it live. Caleb made me drink even more.
Look, we're not arguing his performance was great. We're arguing we're saying is that he put us in the position to win the game when it mattered. When it mattered, John, right? Mitch Trubisky, you give him all the glory in the world in that playoff game against the Eagles, but he also played poorly that game. But what is that you and I always say when Eric always talks shit? He put us in the position
in a
to
position to
win
win.
the game, and it was special teams that fucked it up. We're not going to mention his name. We're not going to mention his name.
We're
We're
not
not
doing
going to
it.
mention his name.
We're not doing it. Even though he
We're
had
not.
Anthony Miller wide open down the middle for a game-winning touchdown.
It
Not
doesn't
put us in
matter.
that
Doesn't
situation.
matter. Okay, but Caleb Williams had so many opportunities to score and win the games too, and he didn't. So if you're not
100%.
going to criticize him for it, don't criticize Mitch.
100%. All right. So let's do 1 versus 2, right? Jaden Daniels' numbers is right here. Obviously, Caleb's in the ticker. Jaden Daniels is right here. So Jaden Daniels in 20 starts, because obviously he has less starts because of his injuries. Jaden Daniels has 4,232 yards. Caleb has more passing yards. Obviously, rushing yards, he has 1,015. Okay, cool. I mean,
Yeah,
that's
honestly,
pretty good.
we're not talking running backs here, so that
Right.
doesn't matter to me.
29 touchdowns. He has one more touchdown than Caleb Williams, and he has
And
one
that's
more
games.
interception than Caleb Williams, but he does have a 14-6 record with the Commanders.
Oh, 9 interceptions.
Similar. At this point, given both situations, right? Caleb Williams had a turmoil last year, going to multiple head coaches, multiple offensive coordinators with Waldron. I always forget the dude that replaced Matt Eberflus, but him, and he became his head coach. So now what he has, Ben Johnson. Obviously, the numbers are similar, and given two different scenarios, two different situations. One went to the conference championship last year in Jaden Daniels, and obviously
I was gonna say he played. They probably played just the same amount of games, even with Jaden missing games this week because he played in the playoffs last year.
100%. Excuse me. But even then, so Jose, you still see that the numbers are eerily similar, minus the rushing yards.
Very eerily. Yeah, but that's what we're saying. It's more of a team game. Like, I'm pretty sure John, right? And I'm not trying to call you out, my boy, but like, I'm sure you would take Jaden Daniels in a heart. Like, I'm sure you would take Jaden Daniels in a heartbeat. But look at these numbers, John. It's not that far off. Caleb's doing it on a much weaker team. Switch him. If that's all Jaden can do for the Commanders on a team that went to the NFC Championship last year, switch him and see how it plays out. I think Caleb will be a little bit better because it's more impressive for Caleb. And I'm not just glazing him, right? It's more impressive for Caleb because he's doing it on a team that had so much against him last year. 100%. On a team that's still very much, almost like still, I guess, very much you could say in rebuild mode this year.
Yeah.
So it's like, that makes me feel good about Caleb, to be honest.
Special teams make special players, special games, and I would say special teams won us that game against the Raiders. Yeah, cool, great. Special teams would have won us that game if Cody Parkey would have made that kick, but we don't talk about that either.
Only when it benefits John's point.
Only when it benefits John Point, right? That's the only time the special teams are actually pretty good. But yeah, no, you're right. Eerily similar. They're kind of the same. Two different styles, though. Obviously, double the rushing yards, but kind of the same thing. And a player that has a lot more turmoil than the other player did. One went to the NFC title game, the other one didn't. And it just proves that Caleb has that little extra something compared to the guy who was drafted right after him. So I mean, nothing wrong with that, right? The next quarterback on this list, and to be quite frankly with you, Jose, I think he is right now at this very moment the best quarterback in this class so far, and that is Bo Nix. Bo Nix almost passing for 5,000 yards in his starts, right? He is 4,787 passing yards with 530 rushing yards, 37 touchdowns, 16 interceptions with a 13-9 record. And obviously, he probably has the best head coach or
37-16 is crazy. This
is crazy. That was that career number the first 2 years. But you know who he has that the other two don't have?
Doesn't matter.
Sean Payton.
I understand that, but Jaden Daniels had more success on his team. And I'm not. What basically my point is right now is that the fact that he's doing that on a team that to me is quote unquote a weaker team than the Commanders were last year. I think Bo Nix right now. I'm waiting to see Drake May's numbers, but out of the three, he's definitely the better quarterback. I get it. Like you have Sean Payton, right? But
right,
so did Drew Brees. He had Sean Payton for most of his career, and everybody still says he's one of the greatest quarterbacks of all time. So,
100%.
Hand in hand, I hear you. Coaching definitely matters. Sean Payton's influence definitely matters, but you still got to perform at the end of the day.
Mm-hmm.
Sean Payton had Russell Wilson, right?
I kind of watered down Russell Wilson, but
I hear you. I hear you, but at the same time, it's like.
And quite frankly, I mean, Sean Payton said he wanted Bo Nix, and there's a reason why he wanted Bo Nix. And right now, in the first 2 years, you can see why he wanted Bo
Fuck,
Nix,
bro.
and I can
47.
definitely see it. And then last but not least, I don't have Michael Penix, but I do have the last one, and that's Drake Maye. And Drake Maye, 3,537 passing yards, 531 rushing yards with 22 touchdowns, 12 interception, and also has a 17-6 record with the New England Patriots, who had a new head coach this year, and he's looking like he's gradually like he's the one that's the slow grower, I guess, like the slow, like he's the one on a slow burner. You can see him gradually getting a little bit better, but it's not as impressive or is not as fast or as quickly as Caleb, Jaden, and Bo Nix.
I mean, as far as the team goes, right? Like that was a very impressive win against the Bills. So there's a
Yeah,
lot
yeah,
of
yeah.
upside with him and that team there. But I agree, individual stats that doesn't really, to me, share like it's Bo Nix and everybody else.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
100%.
Like don't get me wrong, Caleb's not far away in passing yards, but if we're looking at the teams, right? If we're really like breaking it down, it's because right now we don't have a running game, so Caleb's throwing it. You know what I mean?
He
Um,
chucking it up.
but again, to me, it's still impressive, right? And we're going back to Caleb's because we're Bears fans. It's still impressive that Caleb, to me, on this list, given the stats, is still the second best quarterback on the weakest team out of all these teams.
Facts.
You know what I mean? And well, I guess it's a toss up with them and the Patriots, but look, the Bears aren't beating the Bills. The Patriots beat the Bills. You get what I'm saying? So it's like it's a toss up to see who's a better team there. But I still think Caleb had more of a what's the word? He had more of a struggle than these other quarterbacks did his first year.
100%. 100%. A lot of more
So still
turmoil.
very impressive.
100%. Very impressive. And like you said, lot of turmoil, a lot of turnover, a lot of things that you don't want a first year rookie quarterback to go through, right? You don't want a coaching change. You don't want another you don't want to have multiple coach offensive coordinators throughout that time. You're getting your third or fourth offensive coordinator in your second year with Ben Johnson this year, even though luckily enough he's your head coach. But even then, so like he had to go through a lot of adversity and still have the numbers that he's passing through. Like you and I said, like he's not that far off from Jaden Daniels, right? Obviously, Drake Maye is the weakest one out of the group. Bo Nix is the most impressive and probably the best quarterback so far in the first 20 some odd games that they all played in. Is probably the best quarterback out of this quarterback class, given whatever stat that you want to give to, even though Jaden Daniels just went to the NFC title game last year, even though Caleb Williams had a lot of shit going to happen to his season last year. Bo Nix has been actually the most impressive quarterback in this quarterback class, but it's not like it's by a substantial amount. They're literally all right there within each other on who's for the taking on the best quarterback in this class.
No, I hear you. I hear you. But it, you say they're all right there. They're really not. Did the Bulls play today?
Preseason.
Wow. See, that's how not
I
locked in. I had no idea.
shit, I didn't even know the Blackhawks played today until you guys
No,
brought
I
it up.
knew the Blackhawks played today. I knew.
I
Because
didn't
I
even
was
know
like,
it was the regular season. That's
well,
even the most
well,
hilarious
I knew
part.
because I was like, bro, why are they starting at 4 p.m. on a random fucking Tuesday? I thought it was so weird. So I knew that right for the Blackhawks. Um, but I had no idea Bulls preseason started today. I got the update right now. I'm like, what
No
the
idea
fuck?
about the Bulls.
I had no idea. Anyways, though,
Nah, I didn't get this as well.
like you say they're not far off, but Eric, I wrote this stuff down and I have it all right here, right? And this tells a story to me.
Mhm.
This Bo Nix's numbers is what I wish Caleb had in Chicago because you're seeing the trust, and I feel like that's what everybody's
Yeah,
looking over, the trust that they have in him to throw the ball. Look, you look at the 8 interceptions for Caleb. That's great. He knows how to take care of the football. But I would rather him have 16 interceptions and have 37 touchdowns. Like, yeah, you double the interceptions, but you have
you're
nine
you're
more touchdowns.
you're
You know
doubling.
what I
Yeah,
mean?
you're adding more to the touchdowns into it. No, 100%.
You
I agree
you
with you.
have 300 more yards. Like you know what I mean? Like you're trusting him to do so. At the same time, I get it. He probably would have just as much yards and touchdowns, but let's be honest, the offensive line last year was egregious. was the most sacked quarterback in the league. So maybe that 100%, which also goes back to my point with why it's impressive, right? Because it's like he had literally all the odds stacked against him. He was number one
Yeah,
pick for a reason.
yeah.
But right now, Bo Nix is the better quarterback. But I hear what you're saying. I see what you're saying. Where it's more system than anything.
Not for sure, dude. But I mean, only time will tell. I mean, again, these guys all barely had 20 starts, 20 some odd starts under their belt. Let's have this conversation again next year. But it was just, it's a great talking point simply because the Bears are on a bye this week or this past week. So we had something to talk about. I think it was a great conversation to have. And
Well,
seeing where this quarterback draft class is at amongst each other.
well,
Again,
with that being said, though, real quick before
I'll
we,
still
we
take
end the
Caleb.
show, you knew where I was going. You knew where I was going.
I'll still take
with,
Caleb.
with everything that you see here, who are you still taking number one overall?
I'll still,
How about
I'll
this?
still
How
take
about this? How
Caleb.
about this? We have these four quarterbacks. Like, we're not gonna put in Michael Penix because we're not putting JJ McCarthy. All those guys were on the same draft class. But if we're not gonna
Yes.
put in JJ McCarthy, we're not gonna put in Michael Penix because they didn't start last year. So let's just these four quarterbacks: Caleb, Jaden, Bo, and Drake. Okay, let's go with number four. Who do you take number four?
So I mean, Drake May goes 4. He's last.
Okay, I agree. Drake. What about three?
Jaden Daniels.
Really, that's tough
Yeah.
for me. That one's
J-
tough because
Jaden
I
Daniels.
see why you're saying that, right? Because Bo Nix is your prototypical quarterback.
Right. This is my number 2. I'll still take Caleb 1.
Fuck, man, don't hate me, guys. I think I might be right there with taking Jaden 3, taking Bo 2, and I'm still going Caleb number 1, only because of what Caleb has done with less. You
Exactly.
put
That's the only reason why.
you put Caleb in Washington, and I'm curious to see how his numbers are. You put Caleb in Denver, and I'm very curious to see how his numbers are.
Honestly, I think strike me. I want to say that if Caleb goes to Washington, they don't go to NFC title like they did last year. I think
Well,
that team
because
was
because
built
Jaden
around
brought
Jaden
in
Daniels.
that skill set of him running, which
Right,
which
right,
helped them 100%. I
100%.
I hear you there. I hear you there.
But you put Caleb with Sean Payton. Oof.
Well, the hope
Well,
is that that's what happens
I
with
think
him
that's
and
something
Ben
there.
Johnson. You know what I mean?
Not for sure. But you talk about a Super Bowl winning head coach that knows
Proven,
how to
yeah,
develop quarterbacks, that's been there
proven
and done that.
success.
Eh,
Yeah.
eh, I think Sean Payton. I've always believed that when he was up there for grabs, and they should have just let go of Eberflus. And to me, it was Sean Payton. I thought Sean Payton should have been a Chicago Bear with Caleb Williams, and imagine the success they would have had together with the football throwing around. But
Well,
honestly,
out of those four, Caleb has a better receiving core.
out of those 4, Caleb ooh,
You would take DJ Moore and Roma Dunze right now over McLaurin. I don't even know who their second option is in Washington.
Debo.
Okay. Well, McLaurin's hurt, right? I'm talking about last year they only had McLaurin, and this year
Last
they
year
have Debo.
They had
McLaurin's hurt.
McLaurin. They had his
You
name
can't
is
even think about it.
I forgot his name.
I don't even think he's on the team anymore.
No,
Drake, I don't really know who the fuck his wide receivers are.
Stephon Diggs and I
Yeah,
think
this year, but he just barely came back this past week from
100%.
whatever hibernation he was in.
And then I know Drake. I mean, I know Bo has Cortland
All of a
Sutton,
sudden, he had Jerry Judy his first
Jerry
year,
Jeudy.
but
Yeah,
Jerry Judy was in and out. The offense hurt.
yeah,
So I mean, I think I'm right. Caleb had DJ Moore and Roma Dunze.
yeah. But last year it was DJ Moore and Keenan Allen because Rome
That,
wasn't even
that
a feature
too.
last year.
There you
You
go.
know.
You just furthers my point.
Just look at the franchise. The other quarterbacks went. They developed before we have not. I don't know about the Commanders. I think what the Commanders did last year, Tony, was a little bit different. They actually lined up everything together. The head coach, the offensive coordinator, and the quarterback all together at the same time.
You forget the
I
owner,
would, yeah, right, and the owner, and I say
owner,
that
GM, head coach,
that was
like
just the
quarterback,
madness
all
from
of it.
heaven. Yeah, because like that's what you want. That's literally the way that you should build a team. especially if you're drafting the first year quarterback, is like literally all married together. The head coach, the offense coordinator, the owner, everybody, the GM, all at one time, right? Last year, Sean Payton didn't. Last year, he went from Russell Wilson the year prior. He said, "Fuck it, I'm getting my quarterback." He wanted Bo Nix. He got Bo Nix, and he got exactly what he wanted: a quarterback, a head coach that knows how to develop a quarterback. But with the Commander standpoint, though, that's just a perfect storm. I don't know about developing quarterbacks in the franchise past history. I highly doubt it. They know how to find the players. They just not really develop. RG3 was the last one that I could remember of a Washington quarterback.
Well, we're it's all semantics because
Very
every year is a different like coaching staff and all that. So with this
sure.
coaching staff from last year with this quarterback, they're 100% developing them.
Oh,
the only thing that's stopping them is injury. You know what I mean? So
that offensive, the defensive line, but I mean we could go on and on.
But I'm talking about
offensively, you're absolutely right. I think the offensive line has gotten a little bit better.
Quarterback.
Yeah, no, 100%. You've seen Caleb being a lot more quicker with the ball. You've seen Caleb, being more decisive. Week in every single week, you see Caleb being more decisive with the ball and where he wants to go and where he wants to put it. That's coaching. Him getting more comfortable with that offense. That's obviously Ben Johnson coaching him down, coaching him hard. So, 100%, absolutely right. It's unfortunate that we wasted a year on Caleb Williams, but the Bears finally got it right with Ben Johnson here. Coming in with the franchise. So yeah, great talk, great show. Jose, thank you for joining. Tony, thank you for joining. John, thank you for joining. Everybody else who subscribe and share our shows today, thank you. Keep doing that on every single show. Just hit the share button to put it on your page to help us promote the show from here on out. We will be back next Tuesday, hopefully on a Bears Victory Tuesday, since they play Monday night against the Commanders in Washington. Hopefully we get another Bears win. Party at John's house, I guess. He says he's off at 2, so we'll probably be there.
Hell yeah.
Jose,
we'll break some pizza,
Bears win or lose on hell yeah. Bears win or lose on Monday.
Fuck. Tie. It's a tie.
Good night, Tony.
You know what? I would say, man, fuck, I'm not going to be that guy. Eric. Bears win 30-4. No, I'm just playing. Bears win 24-21. That's what my heart says. That's what my heart says. My head says Washington win 24-21, but my heart says Bears win 24-21.
Tony's with you. Bears winning. No score, but he said the Bears are going to win. Me personally, Jose,
he says Hooters because you owe us Hooters.
I do owe you guys Hooters. We'll come up with a date for sure, 100%. Jose, I'm sorry I have to be that guy, but I see the Commanders taking this one on a Monday night. Hopefully I'm wrong, but I just don't see this defense stopping.
No, I'm with you, Eric.
The win.
I'm with you.
I don't see the Bears stopping the win on defense, man. Luckily we had Kyle Gordon back, so that helps us out a little bit in the secondary. But that defensive front, man, there's no push, there's no nothing, there's no like the Bears haven't had a sack in like 2-3 games already. They haven't created pressures in the last 2 games like that way, Jose. I want to say the Bears. I really do. I will say the Bears every single week, Jose, but reality sinks in. I think the Commanders got this one, and I think the Commanders do cover. It's going to be like a 26-20 game, 26-18 type game. The Commanders over the Bears. Wow, pretty low scoring. 17-16 Washington.
That seems more like it. No, what am I thinking? The defense sucks. We'll see, man.
We'll see. Hopefully I'm wrong. Hopefully we come back next Tuesday. Bears will be 3-2. And let's just hope for one Cubs win, and then off to the offseason. They'll play tomorrow at 4:00 here in Wrigley. So, go Cubs go for one game. Hopefully we got it. Bears on Monday. No soccer this week, international break, unfortunately. So, I will be another weekend teamless up until Monday. How about that? That's crazy.
Thank God. Liverpool's been pissing me off, but we're good.
Oh, dude, you don't want to have that conversation.
Nope.
Thank you, Tony. Thank you, John. Jose, thank you as always for hopping on. We like to thank everybody. Like I said, like, subscribe, share all our episodes here. We will see you guys next week on Tuesday, 7:30. Hopefully with the Bears win. As always, thank you. Good night, and we'll see you next week. See ya.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
He's running like he's got a lobster down his pants, showing that he is as slippery as a bar of soap.
Like poop through a diarrhea-infected goose.
Commented about it.
That's fine. That's fine. I'm not laughing about it. You think this is funny? I take this serious.
I'm not.
Real serious. I put my heart and soul into this every single week.
Are we done here?
It's about time.